Hey travelers, Mag, I, and a whole bunch of travelers coming in for the Yuma Swag event here on day 216 of our trip around the United States. For the next 4 days, we will be spending our time here in Yuma, geocaching around with all the people you see here and a lot more people that are still going to be coming in for the event. We're starting things off with a cash in, trash out event right here in the park where the mega event is going to be hosted. So we're going to make sure this place is nice and clean before everybody comes in for the big festivities. Looking forward to seeing what the next 4 days has in store as we explore our way around Yuma. So let's get out there and geocache. Let's go!
Opened in December of 2002, the West Wetlands Park is a 110-acre jewel of the desert beloved by the citizens of Yuma. We began the CITO event by making our way down towards Centennial Beach, where there's a boat launch and a boat trailer parking area as well. We followed the bank of the Colorado River through the lower bench area, which has been restored with native trees and grasses. The upper bench area, also consisting of 30 acres, has been developed with a lake, picnic areas, parking, lighting, and landscaping. We would get to visit both of these areas, and really, the entire park itself, between the Adventure Labs, the Traditionals, and the Adventure Lab bonuses. I was happy to see that while there was trash to be collected, it was not an overabundance. Perhaps this was due to the amount of geocachers out here cleaning, but I'd like to think that the community has taken good care of this park.
We are out here cleaning up trash, and we had a visitor come over to say hi to Aichan, and me, since I'm here. So what is your geocaching handle?
I'm Flowers22.
And how many geocaches have you found?
I'm over 17,000.
Over 17,000. I'm gonna guess you've been in the game since 2014.
05.
05? Oh, you've been around for a minute. Okay.
I had years worth nothing because I had kids at home.
Okay.
And so it was a big deal for me to get that streak that was longer than my slump, because I had 500 days of slump.
Oh boy.
And it was back in the day where we had to print out the papers and we didn't have cell phones and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it was a lot tougher. Right. Every cache was more meaningful when you found it because you couldn't just go get 30 and 40 in a day.
And you had to go home and log it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So
yep.
I was more into finding, and so years later I'd go back and say, I've been here before, but I didn't want to get online.
But years later, revisiting a spot's pretty cool, and I like being able to do that when there's a new publication in the area too. You've been following along with our adventures on the road, right?
Yes, we have.
And I heard you might have a question for me.
Yes. So when you go into a town, or when you make a video, at the end of the day, you often talk about the history. Like, this was when it was founded, and these are the number of people. Have you researched that ahead? Is that part of your planning?
No, I'm not that good. I can't remember quite that much. Plus, I never know what is going to be a focus point of a day and what's going to be, a lackluster spot to come visit. So it's only after the fact, when I've gone through the locations and I find the ones that I was really impressed by, then I go and I do a bunch of research before I ever get to the point of, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about for it. But I decide all that after I've got all my shots and footage.
How do you, I don't know how you're going day to day with lack of sleep and all of that and the videos and all of that.
It helps knowing that I'll finish within a year and get to be back with my family again. So I have the right motivation to make sure I stay on track and don't fall behind. Well, it's definitely nice to meet you, and I'm hoping we'll be seeing more of you while we're around at the Swag Mega event.
I've seen your name on several will attend, so.
Okay, then we will be seeing you out there.
Okay.
Located at the far west end, the prettiest place to visit in the West Wetlands Park is the Galvan Grove Project. The Yuma Crossing National Heritage Area, the city of Yuma, and over 500 Galvan employees from 11 different countries planted over 740 trees along the banks of the Colorado River next to Playa Linda Beach. You'll know that you're almost to the Grove when you cross over the little footbridge that marks the Playa Linda Beach area, which is a popular place to relax and enjoy the sunshine, big open blue sky, and the cool Colorado River. Even during this time of year, you can expect that you might see hummingbirds zooming overhead or butterflies wafting along on the cool breeze. There is an abundance of wildlife, both on four legs and our feathered friends, like mockingbirds, woodpeckers, and roadrunners who have discovered the value in this newly planted grove. And of course, all around the park, we were able to discover the value of many geocaches hidden all throughout. These provided the perfect way to guide our course as we CITO'd our way through the park, looking both for the listings and trash with equal fervor. Having had plenty of rest during our time in Las Vegas, I-chan was thrilled to be able to help out in the hunt, sniffing down any that were near ground level as well. It is great to have my GeoDog's energy revitalized and ready to hit the trails and help sniff out any geocaches I might be struggling with. And while we did a good job of tracking down almost every listing we went after in the park, there were still a couple that gave us trouble. Fortunately, there were other geocachers in the area that were a bit more experienced than us and able to help us track down the ones that gave us a tough time.
So we just went out and we tried under the bridge, and it was rather difficult. I-chan and I were ready to walk away from it. Then our two new friends came up and they're like, no, this is how you find the geocache. So would you guys like to introduce yourselves? What are your geocaching names?
RB Pam 13.
Yes, Porch.
And how long have you been geocaching?
Since 2014.
2014. How many finds in that time?
I got 6,000.
6,000, not bad.
I got 9,000.
9,000.
9,000.
And what is your favorite part of this game?
The hunt.
The hunt, getting that geocache?
Getting that one.
All right, and we're gonna come out here and finish these adventure labs, and then I-chan and I will continue geocaching through the city. Unfortunately, we won't have them along to help us make the finds, but hopefully we'll still be able to do so. Wish us luck.
We were even able to get a bit of a history lesson when we came across the Mormon Battalion statue. In January of 1847, the Mormon Battalion arrived and crossed the Colorado River near what would be present-day Yuma, Arizona. Already starving and in weakened condition, the crossing proved particularly challenging for the soldiers, with many of their animals dying during the struggle to get over. Battalion leader Lieutenant Colonel Philip George Cook described the river there as being so barren, so desolate and difficult that it has never been explored. It is also a reminder of how much the river has changed over the years, becoming smaller and less wild as multiple states draw out the water for a number of uses. What a great day spent exploring and cleaning this wonderful park.
All right, and that is it. We have cleaned this park thoroughly. With the help of several dozen geocachers, we are ready for the mega event to come up in just 3 more days here. Thank you everybody for taking the time to get out here and clean up this park, and I can't wait to see you guys out there on the geocaching trails. Let's do this thing!
Once I-chan and I finished exploring the park, which took the better part of the morning, we made our way into the downtown Yuma area. We were immediately inundated with aviation history. On October 25th of 1911, pioneer aviator Robert Grant Fowler touched down on this site, becoming the first person to land an airplane in Arizona under its own power. Choosing to keep ourselves grounded, we also got to visit the Southern Pacific Steam Locomotive number 2521. Over 50 years in service, this steam engine hauled freight and passengers for a total of more than 2.5 million miles around the American Northwest. It was donated to the city of Yuma after steam technology became obsolete with the advent of the locomotive diesel engine. As we got a little bit of a historical insight, we of course were finding geocaches all along the way. With the Swag Mega event having been hosted here many years and the geocache hiders going out of their way to try and outdo each other, you can expect to find a number of very good geocache hides spread all around town. The one thing that I learned very quickly in tracking down these hides was to expect the unexpected. A place where you might normally expect to see a nano or magnetic key holder, they have devised ways to place regulars and smalls. And you should probably also forget about finding traditional logbooks. Some of the geocaches have those, to be sure, but a lot of them employ very creative logbook styles that are themed very well with the geocache you'll be tracking down. While we did not find a ton of geocaches today because many of them were rather difficult, everything that we found was well worthwhile, bringing us to great hides and great locations.
And it looks like that is just about all the time we have for today. This is our first of 4 days spent here in Yuma for the mega event, and it turned out to be a great start to things. This morning we kicked things off with a CITO event in the West Wetlands Park. We got to meet a lot of the geocachers who are in town and locals as well who are here to attend the event, and we spent several hours hiking back and forth across the park, not only to find the geocaches hidden in the park, but also to find several adventure labs as well. We didn't end up getting out of the park until the early afternoon hours, and by then, Ai-chan was thoroughly exhausted from walking from one end to the other and back again. So she slept in the car as we moved from one geocache to the next. We didn't end up finding as many geocaches today as I thought we would, because all of the ones we had identified were pretty high favorite points, and they turned out to be fairly difficult. So we'd show up to a ground zero, and it would take us a good 10, 15, 20 minutes to locate the cache, or we'd find the geocache right away, and it would take us a good 10, 15, 20 minutes to figure out how to open that darn thing. One way or the other, we spent quite a bit of time with each of those geocaches, getting familiar with the ground zero until we were finally able to get our name onto the logbook. I am looking forward to several more days here in Yuma, and continuing on our target list in the next few days to knock out all the ones identified and a lot of the new publications that are coming out here as well. Thank you guys for joining us down here at the Yuma Swag event. We'll be coming back at you tomorrow with more adventures. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.